Hello, this is Pastor Rick, and I want to welcome you to the Sunday Forum for this Sunday, June the 22nd. Our topic is Emmanuel Lutheran Global Seminary moving forward in Orlando. Yes, we just visited the Synod Convention for the ELCA, the Florida Bahama Synod. As you can see, we designed these special shirts to show off our Lutheran connectedness. All our students and faculty wore them at the Synod Convention. But two events, I think, this week really framed that whole experience for us, and I'd like to talk about them. The first is having all our students together at the Synod Convention, kind of showing off that we're doing well at Emmanuel Lutheran Global Seminary, that, the bishop could see us present, he could see all our students, and people wanted to talk to us about the seminary. But secondly, the announcement came out this week as well that Luther Seminary, a seminary that I love, has decided to sell its campus in the Twin Cities. And so many pastors called and many pastors talked to us in Orlando. What are you guys doing that's so successful? And what could the seminary system learn from us here at Emmanuel Lutheran? We want to talk about all that. But first, let's hear from Howard Isaacson. We had many of our staff up there in Orlando enjoying the synodical meeting. Howard, we want to hear how he frames what happened, what he saw happening at the Synod Convention. Howard, take it away.
Rick, thank you for the opportunity to talk about Emmanuel Lutheran Global Seminary and the Synod Assembly. It was absolutely amazing. We had actually 14 people representing the seminary at the Synod Assembly. And that includes a total of 8 current students, all working on their Master of Divinity to be future pastors within the Florida Bahama Synod, 2 graduates of our program who are in the process of entering into the call cycle, as well as we had 3 faculty members there and some staff folks. So we were there in a major way. Emmanuel Lutheran Global Seminary was also a sponsor of the Synod Assembly. And that was actually thanks to a generous donor of ours who was able to help us to make that happen. And so what that meant was our logo and name was positioned in multiple places and multiple times throughout the bishop's assembly. And that included on the welcoming sign, on the voting cards that actually delegates raised up. So when they voted yes, on the card was our name and logo. We were also on a little note card that was on the banquets at the bishop reception, as we were a sponsor of that. And then, of course, since our founding, we had a booth at what they call the Connection Cafe, the exhibit area. And so we had a large banner, we had all kinds of information. And most importantly, the table was staffed by our students. And so our students could tell prospective students as well as church leaders about the program, about their experiences. So not Rick and I sharing what we think and what we hope, but actual students sharing their experiences, what they saw, what they felt, and how they have grown. And so in that regard, it was a fantastic experience. We came away from there with phenomenal exposure to pastors and to congregational leaders. We came away with phenomenal exposure to synod leadership. Of course, we've got an excellent relationship with Bishop Suarez and his team, and our sponsoring of the assembly only helped to reinforce that. And our students were really energized by the opportunity to walk alongside us as we continue to grow and build, because we walk alongside them as they continue in their pastoral formation. So overall, Rick, it was a fantastic experience. It was a vibrant 3 days. It was time and dollars extremely well spent that will actually contribute to our future growth, both student count and also our financial stability. So great opportunity and a great experience that we were able to take advantage of. Thank you.
Thank you, Howard. So let me review, I would think, 3 stories that I think are important for us here at Emmanuel to hold on to as we reflect on what happened at the Synod Convention. First of all, we were up there with Pastor Jose and Deacon Navis, Jim and Dee Schleuter, Howard Isaacson, Beatrice, Sabra, and myself. So we had a good, solid representation, but also we had our students. And that was a big deal because they all wore these shirts that we specifically designed for the Synod Convention. And we got to interface with the clergy. So the big story is that we're becoming part of the woodwork of the Florida Bahamas Synods. Pastors are starting to know us. They're starting to ask us questions about our students and about our curriculum and about our unique approach to theological education. And you can see in some of the photos that we're showing, it was a big gathering there at the Embassy Suites, and so many pastors there. They were able to enjoy the bishop, the worship, workshops, but also we were given special ways at a cafe that they set up for people to come to our table and discuss things with us. It's a great opportunity. It's a great way for us to network. It was a powerful event for us. So that's the first story. We're becoming part of the woodwork here in the Florida Bahamas Synod. But the second is, as I said, that Luther Seminary announced that they were selling their property. The seminary has been meeting on that property since the early 1900s. And so it's sort of symbolic of a system in the ELCA of theological education, which is struggling. And so, given that everyone at the convention had heard this news, knowing that now the flagship seminary was struggling, facing headwinds, people came and asked us. I got calls all week, and pastors came to our table wanting to know what this meant and what we were offering. What is something different that we are offering that they could learn from, that the ELCA could learn from? And so it was wonderful that our students could be there. Not only then could pastors hear from me, but they could hear from our students as they gave just firsthand testimonies about how they're learning, how they're excited about Emmanuel Lutheran Global Seminary, especially at this time when it's hard to find pastors in the ELCA, which we know here at Emmanuel because we've been searching for 2 years for a pastor out at the park. Third, it was great to highlight our graduates. We're going to show some of them here. This year we have 3 graduates from the Florida Bahamas Synod, Bob Bonamo, Rick Meister, and of course our own Beatrice D'Angelo. But we have other graduates as well. But boy, having graduates here in the Florida Bahamas Synod is important because that's the proof of the pudding. Then the pastors can say, we don't only have students, we're sending pastors out into the vineyard. So all this was quite positive. We are excited about what we experienced in Orlando. We'll talk about it on Sunday at the Sunday Forum. Please join us after the 9 o'clock service at 10:15. We'll give more insider information, and you'll get to look at these amazing shirts. As you can see, we have symbols from Emmanuel, from the ELCA, from Emmanuel Lutheran Global Seminary, and Luther's Rose, all in this tremendous shirt. Do you want to buy one? We'll have them available real soon on our website. So thanks for joining us for this important discussion about the progress of Emmanuel Lutheran Global Seminary. We were moving forward in Orlando. Thanks for joining us. Bye-bye now.